Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.
If you're preparing for your pre-bar course come this September at the Ghana School of Law or at any of the faculties of law across the country, here are some things I think you should take into consideration just because I've had people ask me for my advice. Hello, if you are new here, my name is Salamotu and I create content that usually contains advice and tips for law students and for people intending to read law sometime in the future. Sometimes I talk about specific topics in specific courses in law. At other times, I share tips and advice based on my journey and my experience. As someone who has been in law for 6 years and is waiting to be called to the bar somewhere in October, amen. So the first thing I would say is take it seriously. So you see that under the new Legal Education Act, you are supposed to do, after your LLB, a law practice training for 1 year. After that, you sit for the national bar exams. And then when you pass, you get called to the bar. But you already know by now, if you're taking the pre-bar course, why the pre-bar course was introduced. The faculties are not able to get prepared or put measures in place to be able to run the LPT. And so the pre-bar course is introduced so that while the faculties get prepared to run the LPT, you take these courses in the meantime for 1 year. So as a result of that, you realize that the pre-bar course is transitional. It's something that is supposed to transition you from LLB to the LPT before you take the national bar exams. And so there is a temptation to not take it seriously. I'm not sure, even as at now, the faculties have decided whether this is you're going to write an exam at the end of this whole thing. But the courses that you'll be doing as part of the pre-bar course are not courses that are examinable in the national bar exam. So all of that makes it very easy for you not to take it seriously. But the reason why you should take it seriously is that law is very intersectional. So in real life practice, the various courses that you learn or the various areas of law that you learn are intertwined together. There's an intersection between all of them. So you can be dealing with a matrimonial matter, and in the middle of that matrimonial matter, you have an issue regarding land arising in the middle of that matrimonial matter. You can also have a company law matter, and in the middle of that company law matter, you have an issue of family law arising out of it, okay? And that is what I mean by law is very intersectional. Now, the courses you'll be doing during the pre-bar course, you'll be doing ADR, you'll be doing law of interpretation, you'll be doing commercial law, and you'll be doing company law. These courses, like I mentioned earlier, are not examinable during the national bar exams. They are not courses that you'll be examined on for the national bar exams. But one of the areas that you would be examined on and which you would do for the law practice training when you start next year is civil procedure. So imagine that you have a question in your national bar exams that is in civil procedure or that is trying to test your knowledge of civil procedure, but then it has family law antecedents. If you don't understand your family law very well, you may struggle to even understand the question. For example, if you are being tested in your national bar exams and a question arises and it's on drafting a process, which is, say, for example, a petition, okay? All of these may fly over your head, but walk with me. So if it's a petition is just a means of commencing some kinds of civil procedure. So if you are answering a civil procedure question in your national bar exams and you are asked to draft a petition to commence a family law matter, it's still civil procedure. You are still being questioned on civil procedure, except that this particular question has family law antecedents. So imagine you didn't take your family law seriously during the pre-bar because, well, it's not really an examinable area, right? So that's what I mean by law is intersectional, and that is why you have to take even these courses that you are doing seriously. Another reason why you should take them seriously is that from the moment you finish your LLB, whatever training that you go through, you are preparing for practice. whether it is called pre-bar course or it is called law practice training or it is called the traditional one, which is partly enforced now, the professional legal course, whatever it is called, from the moment you finish LLB, you transition into some sort of training for practice, right? Now, all of these courses that you'll be doing, even if they are not examinable for areas for your national bar exams, the knowledge may become very important in some aspects of practice. All of these courses are courses that at the moment are being taught at the law school. Company or commercial law practice is being taught at the law school at the moment. ADR is being taught at the law school at the moment, family law and law of interpretation. So all of these topics or all of these courses are very, very important in practice, right? The fact that they are being removed now does not necessarily mean that they are not necessary. The knowledge you get from them and your understanding of it can become very important as you go into practice. An example, Section 72 of the Courts Act and various sections in the ADR Act permits courts to refer parties to ADR in the middle of the matter, and then the courts will actually go ahead and give them time to try to settle the matter out of court. Now, under the legal profession rules, a lawyer is supposed to explore whether there are alternative means of settling disputes. And then where he finds that there are these means are available, he has to inform the client. And then when the client makes a decision, he has to pursue it. Now, if you look at the body of laws or the legal sources I've just referred to, you realize that ADR is not something you have to be joking about. So imagine that you do ADR in your pre-bar course and you decide not to take it seriously because, well, it's not examinable. And now you are in practice and you've been referred to go and try ADR. What principles are you going to use to, execute that or do a good job at trying to get a settlement for your client? Sometimes your client doesn't really have a good case, okay? And a settlement might be helpful, but you can't do it because you don't even know where to start from, right? So I'm saying this to say that even though all of the courses that you do in your pre-bar course are not examinable in the national bar exams, you should take it seriously. For one, law is very intersectional. The examiner for your MBE, your national bar exams, may take the knowledge from these courses as a given when he's setting or when she's setting her questions for the national bar exams. And I've already given the family law civil procedure example. Secondly, the knowledge that you acquire from these courses can become very helpful in practice. And like I said, from the moment you graduated from LLB, you are preparing for practice. So anything that can become helpful in practice, you have to grab it with your two hands and take it seriously. Secondly, choose a campus that you are going to be comfortable in, right? If you are going to take my advice or if you are asking me to advise you on what campus to choose, personally, I'd recommend the Ghana School of Law. Wait. And the reason is simply that the Ghana School of Law has done this for over 60 years. They have structure. They already have a system that you're going to just be immersed in. That would be my reason for recommending the Ghana School of Law. But if you're already in a faculty that is going to do the pre-bar course and you're already settled there and you're used to that environment, I would recommend that you stay there. You are already used to the environment, you're used to the teaching style, you're used to that faculty system to a certain extent, even though this whole PBC thing is new, but you're used to that faculty system. You never know, it might even be your own lecturers that are going to teach these courses, and so you're used to their style. I don't think it's worth it unsettling yourself just to come to Accra or Kumasi or any of the campuses of the Ghana School of. This whole PBC thing is new, so you already have the task of trying to navigate the courses. Yes, you may have done some of the courses in LLB, but it's still same courses or similar courses in an entirely new system. So you still have some catching up to do, or you still have a lot of work to do to get used to them. So there is that task, and then imagine you move to a new campus that you are not even used to. You have to get used to the environment, to the academic set, and even figuring out how to locate the campus will likely be a problem for you. How to get accommodation. I'm saying that try and cut all of those things off and just focus on getting used to the courses and trying to figure out how to navigate your academic life. And the easiest way to do that is to make sure that you're in a campus that you are already conversant with, that you don't need any introduction to, right? And that's what I mean by choosing a campus that you are comfortable. The third thing I would say you should do is to prepare for the start of the course. Prepare for the start of the course. Prepare for the start of the course. And this is hinged to you taking the pre-bar course seriously, right? What do I mean by preparing for the start of the course? All I'm saying is that try to read your LLB notes. You did company law, you did also commercial law in LLB. Those are the only two courses in the pre-bar course that you did at LLB. Interpretation is new. It's something that is supposed to have been taught at the law school under the old system. And then also, family law is new. It would have been taught at the law school under the old system. But both or all of these courses are connected to something you might have done, a course you might have done in LLB. Interpretation is very connected to constitutional law. Very, very connected, especially if it is going to be taught in the same way that is being taught at the law school now. And I believe it is. There isn't much that is going to be changed in terms of the course content, right? So if they are going to maintain the same course content, your understanding of constitutional law is essential to how easily you would understand law of interpretation. Okay. So in preparing for the start of the pre-bar course, start reading and revising your constitutional law notes. You want to learn about constitutional interpretation, your constitutional supremacy, your theories and principles, rule of law, and all of that. All of those things will help you to understand law of interpretation of deeds and statutes easily, particularly when it comes to constitutional interpretation. Okay. So at the moment that we are yet to start the course, I understand it's going to start in September. Before we start the course, start revising those notes. You have all the time from now till September. So you start revising your notes. And then when it comes to ADR, depending on what you did in your legal systems, the course content of your legal systems, you should have done something in relation to ADR, even though that's not all about it. ADR is a lot more than the introductory discussions that is done or had in legal systems. But then reading about it will also help you to understand your ADR when the time comes. For family law, you are yet to do it. So I would say that brace yourself up. But if I'm to recommend something you can do to understand family law, I'd recommend a book, Essentials of Family Law by Ofe. It's nicknamed the Blue Book. You can get it and start reading, get an introductory understanding of family law, because that is the only course in the pre-bar course that you have not done at LLB. Company and commercial law, you've done it, but I kind of have a feeling that this company and commercial law is going to be like the one that was being taught that is being taught at the law school now. It's more of company and commercial law practice. It is different from company law as you do it, company law or commercial law as you do it at LLB. Because this time around, it's going to focus on the practice aspects of it. So meetings, procedures in company and commercial law. Much of your learning is going to focus on the schedules that are attached to the Companies Act instead of the provisions alone, right? But before you be able to understand the practice aspect of it, you have to have a very good foundational understanding of the law as it is. And that's law, you've already done it at LLB. So between now and when you actually start the pre-bar course in September, you can go back to your company law notes as well as your commercial law notes and look at them. It's nothing serious. You're just going to revise them so that when you eventually start doing the courses in September, there is some sort of a fertile ground that those concepts will fall on. It's likely going to be a repetition, but like I said, it's going to have a twist. That is, if they are going to teach it the same way that it's being taught now, being that they are going to focus more on the practice aspect. Lastly, I would say keep your ears on the ground and follow instructions. I keep saying that this whole system is new. There is nobody who is already at the law school or who is already a lawyer that can help you with information as to how to navigate the pre-bar course. No one, because all of us, we don't know. And that's just because the entire system is new, okay? So if you need information, if you are confused as to anything, you are going to have to go and look for the information yourself. The primary source of a lot of information about this new system is in the Act. So you are going to have to find your Act and read it, okay? If you are confused as to anything, you can look for the sources yourself. Try reading the Act to see if there is any helpful information in there for your confusion, or you can also pay attention to faculty and the instructions that they would give you. There are so many things that are yet to be communicated, I believe. For example, are you going to be writing exams at the end of this? Will you run it as a semester? Is it going to be on a semester basis? So you do first semester and you do second semester. Would there be an exam at the end of the semester? Would that exam, if it is actually written, count towards you getting into the LPT? I know that you will be given an attestation and you need that attestation to be able to go on and do the LPT. But I'm saying that you don't even know if there will be an exam that will be written. Would there be a need for you to pass that exam before you get the attestation? So all of these questions, nobody has the answers yet. You would have to start and then get that information from the faculty or from the school that you do your pre-bar course at. And so keep your ear on the ground and listen to instructions. And I believe you would be fine at the end of the day. This is where we end today's video. I hope that these 4 tips that I've shared are helpful. And I wish you all the best as you start your pre-bar course. Hopefully you are able to finish it successfully and make it to the bar. See you at the bar. Bye.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.